All right, guys. So, today I just want to review our parts of speech just really quickly, kind of the basics of each one, just to kind of get this in your head again, because once we start getting into some more complicated grammar, you're going to want to make sure you remember all of these terms, okay? Now, I gave you just a notes packet to follow along with this. If you want to jot down anything or, if it's just easier for you to read on there, that's totally fine. All right, so we're going to start most basic. Noun, a person, place, thing, or idea. Now, some examples: friend, it's a person; place, Atlanta; thing, a chair; idea, love. Now, y'all have the most trouble spotting ideas usually because they're not like tangible people, places, things that I can see and touch, but they are still nouns, so you want to keep them in that category. Now, what else should I know about nouns? Nouns can be common, which is just a general word like student, or proper, which is a specific name like Katie. Okay. Now, just to go back for a minute. So, important thing to note here, Katie is capitalized. So make sure your proper nouns are capitalized. So specific names for specific people, places, things, or ideas. All right, now, nouns become plural by adding an S. Note that I just said S, not apostrophe S. Some of y'all are still doing that for plurals, unless it's an irregular noun like goose or mouse, which would become geese or mice. Nouns become possessive by adding an apostrophe S, like in Raymond's book. The exception is if it is plural, and I already added an S to make it plural. You never want to add two S's because it's just too much. All right, so then you just put an apostrophe, so like the friend's hideout. All right, pronouns. These are words that take the place of a noun. So they can do everything a noun can do in terms of, being the subject of your sentence, things like that. But there'll be words like I, you, or we. Now, the noun the pronoun takes the place of is called the antecedent. So if you hear me use that word, that's what I'm talking about. And you want to make sure it's clear which noun the pronoun is referring to. So, bad example, Mary and Kate went to the store and she bought some milk. I don't know whether it's Mary or Kate because both of them are girls and she could refer to either one. So you want to make sure your pronouns are clear. All right, pronouns can be the subject of the sentence. I went to the store. They can show possession, that is my pencil, that's what we call a possessive pronoun. And they can end in self, like I want to see for myself. Those are called reflexive pronouns, but you don't need to know that. All right, verb. These are words that show actions or state of being. So example, runs would be an action word. We can run. Was, that's a be verb. Okay, just I was. All right, what else should I know? Verbs usually show up in verb phrases where they'll be paired with helping verbs. So like, I have been running, he was smiling, we had walked to the store. There's a main verb, running, smiling, walked. But then we also have helping verbs, which are often forms of have, be, or do. All right, the be verbs are is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been. Got in trouble with those last year. And be verbs can appear as helping verbs or by themselves. They can be the main verb of your sentence or they can just be there to help out. All right, adjectives. These words describe a noun. So some examples: the smart girl, the cute dog. Adjectives generally show up before the noun they modify, like the tall building, unless they're being connected to the subject of the sentence by a be verb or linking verb. So I can say the building is tall, the dog looks cute. All right, adverbs. A word that describes a verb, adjective, or other adverb. They answer the questions how, when, where, and to what extent. So, example, the clock struck loudly. That's how it struck. The show starts tomorrow. That's when it starts. We moved the table outside, where we moved it. The boy was very loud. To what extent he was loud. So notice each of these: loudly is describing my verb struck. Tomorrow is describing my verb starts. Outside is describing my verb moved. Very is describing my adjective loud. All right, and most of our words like very, really, those will be adverbs. All right, now many adverbs and an ly. You saw that with loudly. And adverbs, like I just mentioned, that answer the question to what extent, are sometimes called intensifiers. They're usually before adjectives. They make the adjectives more intense. So like very tired, extremely angry, so happy. And those are adverbs too. All right, prepositions, a short word that usually shows time, direction, or location. Examples: to school, after dinner, underneath the table. Many words that look like prepositions are actually acting like other parts of speech. So, for example, the word to, which is usually a preposition, can show up as a part of a special type of verb phrase called infinitives, like to eat, to cry. And you probably hear about infinitives in Spanish. That's kind of like the base form of the verb. Prepositions can also show up as adverbs, like I looked down. That's telling me where I looked. It's actually modifying my verb looked. It's not being a preposition there. So prepositions are generally only going to show up as prepositions if they're part of a prepositional phrase with a noun following it, like to the store, down the hall. I've got that noun, that object of the preposition at the end. All right, conjunctions, words that are used to connect words, phrases, and clauses. Examples: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are what we call my fanboys. All right, those are our most common ones. Their official name is coordinating conjunctions. Now, we're going to learn about some other type of conjunctions this year. So this is not review, this is a little preview of the future, but there are also subordinating conjunctions, which we use in phrases and dependent clauses, which you may not know what those are, but you will. All right, couple more articles, a, and the. They only show up before nouns. Sometimes there'll be an adjective in between, but they're always with a noun. You use an before words that start with a vowel. And then interjections are kind of their own special part of speech. Like if I say wow or oops, those are called interjections. All right, that's all my parts of speech. So you have gotten a nice quick review here. Hopefully that refreshed your memory a fair bit and you're ready to go and do some more grammar.